Whew. Well, how about that, everybody? As the Oklahoma Sooners take on another helmet team in the Ohio State University. Ohio State got them last year pretty good. Oklahoma then went up there and got some revenge as Bake cooks up some revenge and sends a message in Columbus, 31-16. Don't know what I mean? Well, we'll just put it this way. He planted himself into a Heisman candidacy set. We'll explain that next. Only right here, Boomer Sooner 1982. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name's Harry James. If you don't know what I meant when I said that, well, in the preset to where he planted himself in Heisman candidacy, well, he took the OU flag. Kind of like what we do in Dallas, and he runs around the stadium, and then he plants it at midfield. Well, he did that again in Columbus. Didn't turn out too well, though, because Ohio State's stadium is a turf field, not grass turf. So that really didn't go so well. But every other decision that Baker Mayfield made the other night was on point. It was on target, and they needed every yard of it. In fact, speaking of Baker Mayfield and what he did good, let's get to what he did good. Offensively, as the Sooners bake up some revenge and send a message, 31-16. And it all starts with the Baker, the touchdown maker. Number 6 Baker, the touchdown maker, had 386 yards in the air to match with 3 touchdowns and a big fat donut, 0 interceptions. J.T. Barrett, the other Heisman Trophy candidate, had just 183 yards in the air. Didn't have a touchdown, and did have an interception in the game. Rushing wise, this was just an amazing accomplishment right here. Number 4, Trey Sermon got a bunk of the carries the other night. 17 of them, in fact, to match with 64 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Had another one in the air. Rushing the ball, J.T. Barrett, number 16, the quarterback, 18 selfies, 85 yards, 0 touchdowns. They also had number 2, J.K. Dobbins, had 13 attempts, 72 yards, and a touchdown. So they kind of spread the rushing attack out, just like Oklahoma spread the passing attack out. Didn't look like it early because they were a lot to Flowers and those guys in the backfield, but it ended up evening out. Like this. We'll start receiving with the man we were just talking about. Number 36, Dimitri Flowers. He had 7 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown on the evening. Wide receiver receiving. The Kentucky transfer, Jeffrey Badet, 5 catches, 82 yards, 0 touchdowns. And the true freshman, C.D. Lamb. Number 9, C.D. Lamb, 5 catches, 61 yards, 0 touches. Offensively for Ohio State in the air, number 14, K.J. Hill. Hill had 4 catches, 44 yards, and 0 touchdowns. 83, Terry Lawton, 3 catches for 30 yards and 0 touchdowns. And number 21, Paris Campbell, 3 catches, 27 yards and 0 touchdowns. Defensively for Oklahoma, there were 2 people that held it down, the defensive side of the ball. We'll start with number 14, Big Bad Jeremy Beal. Beal the real deal. Number 14, Jeremy Beal, 9 tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumbles recovered, 0 interception. The other defensive star for Oklahoma, Parnell Motley, 8 tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumbles recovered, and had an interception. Could have probably had 2 interceptions in the ball game. The second one would have really clinched the deal, sealed the deal. But then again, it was on 4th down, so it really doesn't matter. Defensively for Ohio State, trying to stop Oklahoma from getting the 31 points that they got. Number 30, the 2 men that you would expect. Number 35, Chris Worley, and number 7, Damian Webb. 35, Chris Worley, 11 tackles, a forced fumble, 0 fumbles recovered, and 0 interceptions. Number 7, Damian Webb, 9 tackles, 0 forced fumbles, a fumble recovered, and an INT. Kicking, Austin Seibert, 1 for 2 at 50%, missed one from 37 yards out, made one good from 35 yards out. Now, the one from 37 yards out, I'm not too mad at Seibert for it. It was a pretty good snap, but it was a horrible hold by Connor McGinnis, our holder. So that really kind of messed up the system there on that one. But Ohio State, Sean Nurnberger, 3 for 3, 100%, 2 from 24 yards out, and a long of 32. That's 3. Punting, Austin Seibert, number 43, Austin Seibert, 1 punt, just 34 yards on average, 34 yards for long, and 34 yards on the punt. The other punter for Ohio State, number 191, Drew Christman, 4 punts, 48.5 an average, 52 along, and 4 landed inside the 20-yard line. Now that we're done with that part, now we'll go to the scoring highlights and how we got the 31-16 win for Oklahoma. And and with as high scoring as the game was at 31 points for Oklahoma and 16 for The Ohio State University, surprisingly, we were held scoreless in the first quarter. So first quarter, there was no scoring. Second quarter, there was finally a score when number 96, Sean Nurnberger, hits a 24-yard field goal for Ohio State with 11:11 left, up and through the pipes. We have a 3-0 lead to The Ohio State University for majority of the rest of the first half. Until Oklahoma had all those deep possessions. And finally, with 25 seconds left, it paid off. Number 43, Austin Seibert, 35-yard field goal, up and good. With 25 seconds left, we are tied at trace going into halftime. Third quarter is when we're going to start having some fun. And it started with The Ohio State University. As number 2, J.K. Dobbins had that touchdown we were talking about earlier from 6 yards out with 12:37 left. It is 10-3, The Ohio State University. But on the ensuing possession, number 6, Baker Mayfield, hits a 36-yard dime to number 36, Dimitri Flowers, in the end zone. At the end of it, touchdown Oklahoma with 10:50 left. Boomer Sooner. 10-10 though. Oklahoma still hasn't had the lead all game. Then it's Sean Nurnberger with his second 24-yard field goal of the night with 8:10 left. 13-10. The Ohio State University. Then Oklahoma took over, baby. Lee Morris, his papa was one of Switzer's kids, and now the son is playing for Switzer. And not only that, but in back-to-back appearances, he has 2 touchdowns. The one from this game, Baker Mayfield, 18 yards to the aforementioned Lee Morris, 2:17 left, 17-13 Oklahoma, and we don't look back. But that's it. But the 2:17 left. But with 2:17 left in the third quarter, that's the end of the scoring in the third. To the fourth we go. That's when we find Baker Mayfield, 10-yard touchdown pass to Trey Sermon, touchdown Oklahoma. 11:11 left with 24-13 lead to Oklahoma. A little bit of insurance there. Bob Stoops was pretty happy, I would say, up in the booth after this play was over. But Oklahoma did end up getting a little bit of insurance because on the ensuing drive by Ohio State, there's a pickoff by Parnell Motley. Motley with his first pick of the night. It's answered by a little bit more insurance. As we hand it off to number 17, Jordan Smallwood, for a 3-yard touchdown run with 9:26 left. Oklahoma 31, 13 for Ohio State. Son Nürnberger hits a 32-yarder. Up and good to make it 31-16. And that's all Oklahoma needed after that. Just run out the clock, baby. 31-16, the final. Riley's right call of the game was probably the Jordan Smallwood touchdown that gave them a little bit of extra insurance they may have needed. That's the play. Riley's right call of the game. Stoopsy stop of the night. Mike Stoops, that is. Parnell Motley picked off J.T. Barrett there in the fourth quarter. His first interception. I think that we finally, guys, I think that right now it looks like we finally have 2 solid corners. Kind of like we had 2 solid corners kind of towards the end of the Stoops era with Aaron Colvin, now with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Zach Sanchez, I believe at least he was with the Carolina Panthers. We might have those 2 guys again with Jordan Thomas and the aforementioned Parnell Motley. Maybe. You never know. It'll be a big test, though, when they have to play Texas and Baylor and consistently have to face a pass offense. But thus far, looks like we have 2 solid corners, one on each side. Alright, guys. That'll do it. My name is Harry James. Thanks for watching. You can find me on the Facebook, Harry James Taylor, or on Twitter, @Sooner_fan_OK. Alright, guys, one final time. Oklahoma and Baker Mayfield bake up some revenge and send a message to college football, and they do it in Columbus. 31-16. Thanks a lot, guys, and Boomer Sooner.